Chapter 1. Introduction. Overview of Buddhism. Buddhism, one of the world's major religions, originated in ancient India and has spread across the globe, influencing the lives of millions. With its teachings focused on the alleviation of suffering and the pursuit of spiritual awakening, Buddhism offers a unique perspective on existence and human potential. This overview aims to provide a comprehensive understanding of the fundamental concepts, practices, and beliefs that define Buddhism. At the core of Buddhism lies the life and teachings of Siddhartha Gautama, commonly known as the Buddha, which means the Awakened One. Born into a noble family in the 6th century BCE in what is now Nepal, the young prince was shielded from the harsh realities of life. However, upon encountering suffering and the impermanence of existence, he renounced his luxurious lifestyle in search of truth and enlightenment. After years of spiritual exploration and intense meditation, Siddhartha attained enlightenment under the Bodhi tree in Bodh Gaya, India. This pivotal moment marked the birth of Buddhism and the emergence of the Four Noble Truths, which form the foundation of Buddhist philosophy. These truths articulate the inherent nature of suffering, dukkha, its causes, the cessation of suffering, and the path leading to its cessation, the Noble Eightfold Path. The Noble Eightfold Path outlines a series of ethical principles, mental disciplines, and contemplative practices aimed at guiding individuals towards liberation from suffering. It encompasses 8 interdependent factors: right understanding, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. Following this path leads practitioners to develop wisdom, ethical conduct, and mental cultivation. Central to Buddhist practice is the cultivation of mindfulness and meditation. Mindfulness involves maintaining a moment-by-moment awareness of one's thoughts, feelings, bodily sensations, and surrounding environment without judgment. Through meditation, practitioners learn to observe the mind and its patterns, cultivate a deeper understanding of themselves, and develop insight into the nature of reality. Meditation practices range from concentration techniques to contemplation of impermanence, compassion, and loving kindness. Buddhism also recognizes the importance of the monastic community, known as the Sangha. Monks and nuns lead a renunciate lifestyle, dedicating themselves to spiritual practice and the preservation of the teachings. They serve as spiritual guides, teachers, and custodians of the Buddhist tradition. Lay practitioners, on the other hand, support the Sangha and strive to live according to Buddhist principles within their everyday lives. Key to Buddhist belief is the concept of karma, the law of cause and effect. According to this principle, actions both physical and mental have consequences that shape one's present and future experiences. Buddhists believe in the cycle of rebirth, where the actions of previous lives determine the circumstances of one's current existence. The goal is to break free from this cycle through the attainment of nirvana, a state of liberation from suffering and the end of the cycle of birth and death. Buddhism encompasses a diverse range of traditions and practices. 2 major branches, Mahayana and Theravada, have emerged over time. Theravada, prevalent in Southeast Asia, adheres closely to the original teachings of the Buddha. It emphasizes the individual's pursuit of enlightenment and the monastic path. Mahayana, found primarily in East Asia, places greater emphasis on compassion, the bodhisattva ideal, and the liberation of all sentient beings. The impact of Buddhism extends far beyond its origins in India. Through trade routes and missionary activities, it spread to various parts of Asia, including China, Tibet, Japan, and Southeast Asia. In recent centuries, it has gained followers in the Western world, where its teachings resonate with people seeking alternative spiritual paths. The influence of Buddhism can be seen in diverse areas, including philosophy, psychology, art, and social activism. Buddhist teachings on mindfulness and compassion have found applications in modern psychology, with mindfulness-based interventions becoming popular for stress reduction and emotional well-being. Buddhism has also had a profound effect on the lives of its followers. By offering a path to inner transformation and self-discovery, it provides a framework for personal growth and ethical living. The practice of meditation and mindfulness cultivates a greater sense of self-awareness, emotional resilience, and the ability to respond skillfully to life's challenges. Compassion and kindness, central to Buddhist teachings, foster harmonious relationships and contribute to social harmony. The global reach of Buddhism is significant, with millions of adherents across the world. It has become an integral part of the cultural, religious, and philosophical landscape in many countries. From the temples of Thailand and the monasteries of Tibet to the Zen gardens of Japan and the meditation centers in the West, Buddhism has left an indelible mark on human civilization. However, as with any religion, Buddhism has also faced misconceptions and criticisms. Misbeliefs and stereotypes often arise due to cultural misunderstandings or oversimplifications of its teachings. For example, some mistakenly view Buddhism as a passive or nihilistic philosophy, neglecting its emphasis on engaged compassion and the pursuit of wisdom. Cultural appropriation is another issue that Buddhism has encountered, particularly in the West. Elements of Buddhist practice and iconography have been adopted and commodified without proper understanding or respect for their cultural origins. This has raised concerns about the dilution and misrepresentation of the tradition. Buddhism, like any organized religion, has also been entangled in social and political issues. Historical instances of conflict and sectarian tensions have arisen within Buddhist communities, challenging the notion of Buddhism as a religion of peace. Moreover, as Buddhism encounters different cultures and societies, it faces the complexities of adapting to modern contexts while preserving its core teachings. When considering Buddhism in relation to other religions, it is essential to recognize both similarities and differences. Buddhism shares some common ground with Hinduism, its ancient Indian counterpart, such as beliefs in karma and rebirth. However, Buddhism rejects the authority of the caste system and emphasizes individual liberation rather than the worship of deities. In contrast to Christianity, which places faith in a divine savior, Buddhism emphasizes self-reliance and personal responsibility for one's spiritual journey. While Christianity focuses on salvation through faith, Buddhism emphasizes the development of wisdom and compassion as a means to overcome suffering. Buddhism exhibits parallels with other Eastern philosophies and religions as well. It shares similarities with Taoism, particularly in its emphasis on the interconnectedness of all things and the cultivation of inner harmony. Interfaith dialogue and cooperation between Buddhism and other religions have emerged as a means to foster understanding, harmony, and collaboration in an increasingly interconnected world. Significance and influence. Buddhism, with its profound teachings and philosophical insights, has had a significant impact on individuals, societies, and global culture. From its origins in ancient India to its spread across Asia and beyond, Buddhism has left an indelible mark on the world, shaping spiritual beliefs, ethical values, and cultural practices. This essay explores the significance and influence of Buddhism in various realms of human existence. One of the primary areas where Buddhism holds great significance is in its approach to the alleviation of suffering. The Four Noble Truths, central to Buddhist teachings, acknowledge the existence of suffering in human life and provide a path for its cessation. By recognizing suffering as a universal experience and offering practical methods to address its causes, Buddhism provides individuals with a profound understanding of human existence. The teachings of Buddhism also emphasize the cultivation of mindfulness, which has found applications far beyond the realm of spirituality. In recent decades, the practice of mindfulness has gained popularity in psychology and healthcare, as research has demonstrated its effectiveness in reducing stress, managing anxiety, and enhancing overall well-being. Mindfulness-based interventions, derived from Buddhist meditation practices, have become widely adopted in therapeutic settings, benefiting individuals from all walks of life. Buddhism's influence on the arts is another testament to its significance. Throughout history, Buddhist philosophy and imagery have inspired countless works of art, ranging from sculptures and paintings to poetry and literature. Buddhist art, characterized by its serene representations of enlightened beings, intricately crafted mandalas, and mesmerizing temple architecture, reflects the spiritual aspirations and aesthetic sensibilities of different cultures. Moreover, Buddhism has played a crucial role in shaping social and ethical values in societies influenced by its teachings. The emphasis on compassion, nonviolence, and the interconnectedness of all beings has contributed to the development of a more empathetic and altruistic worldview. Buddhist values have influenced the establishment of charitable organizations, the promotion of social justice, and the pursuit of environmental sustainability. The concept of engaged Buddhism, which encourages practitioners to actively address social and political issues, has led to movements for peace, human rights, and equality. The global reach of Buddhism is extensive, spanning multiple continents and cultures. It has become an integral part of the religious and cultural landscape in countries such as Thailand, Sri Lanka, Cambodia, Myanmar, China, Japan, Tibet, and Bhutan. Buddhist temples, monasteries, and meditation centers dot the landscapes of these regions, serving as spiritual sanctuaries and fostering a sense of community. Furthermore, Buddhism has spread beyond its traditional boundaries, attracting followers from diverse backgrounds and cultures. In the West, Buddhism has gained popularity as an alternative spiritual path, resonating with individuals seeking meaning, inner peace, and spiritual growth. The practice of meditation, mindfulness, and the study of Buddhist philosophy have become accessible to people from various religious and secular backgrounds, contributing to the cultural diversity and spiritual enrichment of Western societies. While Buddhism has had a profound and positive influence, it is not without its challenges. The rapid pace of modernization, globalization, and the erosion of traditional cultural values pose difficulties for the preservation and practice of Buddhism in certain regions. The rise of materialism, consumerism, and individualism can create obstacles to the cultivation of mindfulness, compassion, and ethical living. Moreover, like any religious tradition, Buddhism has encountered controversies and issues within its own community. Disputes over interpretations of teachings, sectarian conflicts, and instances of institutional corruption have challenged the integrity and unity of Buddhist communities. It is essential to acknowledge these challenges while also recognizing the positive contributions and transformative potential that Buddhism offers. The global spread of Buddhism has made it a vibrant and diverse religious tradition, with millions of followers worldwide. Its teachings continue to resonate with individuals from different cultural backgrounds, offering a spiritual path that transcends traditional boundaries. However, Buddhism also faces challenges in adapting to modern contexts and addressing issues within its own community. Overall, the significance and influence of Buddhism lie in its ability to provide individuals with guidance, wisdom, and a framework for living a meaningful and compassionate life. By addressing the fundamental questions of human existence and offering practical tools for personal transformation, Buddhism continues to impact individuals and societies, fostering peace, well-being, and spiritual growth. Chapter 2. Origins of Buddhism. Buddhism, one of the world's major religions, has a rich and complex history that traces its origins back to ancient India. This chapter delves into the historical context, geographical location, and the life of its founder, Siddhartha Gautama, who became known as the Buddha. Understanding the origins of Buddhism is essential to grasp the evolution and development of this influential spiritual tradition. 2.1 Where did it start? Buddhism originated in the northeastern part of the Indian subcontinent, in what is now modern-day Nepal and northern India. This region, known as the Ganges River Basin, was a cradle of civilization and a melting pot of diverse cultural and religious traditions during the time of the Buddha. The specific place associated with the birth of Buddhism is Lumbini, a small town in present-day Nepal. It was here that Siddhartha Gautama, the future Buddha, was born around the 6th century BCE. Lumbini remains an important pilgrimage site for Buddhists, with the Maya Devi temple marking the spot where the Buddha was said to have been born. 2.2 When did it start? The exact timeline of the birth and development of Buddhism is a subject of scholarly debate. However, most historical accounts place the birth of Siddhartha Gautama, the historical figure who would become the Buddha, around the 6th century BCE. This places the origins of Buddhism in the Axial Age, a period of profound intellectual and spiritual ferment in various regions of the world. Siddhartha Gautama, born into a royal family, led a sheltered life within the confines of the palace walls. However, as he ventured beyond the palace grounds, he encountered the realities of old age, sickness, and death, which deeply affected him. These encounters sparked his spiritual quest for understanding the nature of human suffering and the path to liberation. 2.3 Historical context. To understand the historical context in which Buddhism emerged, it is essential to consider the religious and philosophical landscape of ancient India. During the time of the Buddha, India was home to various religious traditions, including Hinduism, Jainism, and numerous ascetic and philosophical schools. Hinduism, the dominant religious tradition in the region, was characterized by its complex pantheon of deities, ritualistic practices, and the caste system. Jainism, founded by Mahavira, emphasized nonviolence and asceticism. Both of these traditions influenced the cultural and intellectual climate within which the Buddha's teachings took shape. The social and political milieu of ancient India also played a role in shaping Buddhism. The era was marked by the rise of urbanization, trade networks, and the emergence of new social classes. The spread of ideas and the quest for spiritual answers were facilitated by increased interactions between different regions and social groups. Siddhartha Gautama's decision to renounce his privileged life and seek spiritual enlightenment was a response to the societal and existential questions of his time. His teachings offered an alternative path to salvation and liberation, challenging the prevailing religious and social norms. The historical context in which Buddhism arose influenced the language, concepts, and practices found within the Buddhist tradition. As Buddhism evolved and spread across different regions, it interacted with local cultures and absorbed elements from various philosophical and religious traditions, leading to the development of diverse Buddhist schools and sects. Chapter 3. Foundational Teachings. Chapter 3 explores the fundamental teachings that form the core of Buddhism. These teachings provide the framework for understanding the nature of existence, the causes of suffering, and the path to liberation. The chapter delves into key concepts such as the Four Noble Truths, the Eightfold Path, and the Three Marks of Existence, which are central to Buddhist philosophy and practice. 3.1 Fundamental Concepts. At the heart of Buddhism are several fundamental concepts that serve as the building blocks for its teachings. These concepts include impermanence, anicca, non-self, anatta, and suffering, dukkha. Buddhism posits that all conditioned phenomena are impermanent, constantly changing and subject to decay. This impermanence extends to the concept of self, challenging the notion of an enduring and independent entity. The concept of suffering, or dukkha, is a pivotal element in Buddhist teachings. It refers not only to obvious forms of pain and suffering but also to the unsatisfactoriness and imperfection inherent in all conditioned existence. Buddhism recognizes that suffering is an integral part of human life and seeks to understand its causes and alleviate its effects. 3.2 Four Noble Truths. The Four Noble Truths form the foundation of Buddhist philosophy. They outline the nature of suffering, its causes, the possibility of its cessation, and the path to its cessation. The Four Noble Truths are as follows. The truth of suffering, dukkha. This truth acknowledges the existence of suffering as an inherent part of human life. It encompasses physical and mental pain, dissatisfaction, and the inherent imperfections of existence. The truth of the cause of suffering, samudaya. This truth identifies craving and attachment as the root cause of suffering. It suggests that attachment to desires, aversions, and ignorance perpetuates the cycle of suffering. The truth of the cessation of suffering, nirvana. This truth offers hope by suggesting that the cessation of suffering is attainable. It states that through the cessation of craving and attachment, suffering can be overcome. The truth of the path to the cessation of suffering, magga. This truth outlines the Eightfold Path, which provides guidance on how to achieve liberation from suffering and attain enlightenment. 3.3 Eightfold Path. The Eightfold Path is the practical guide that leads to the cessation of suffering and the realization of enlightenment. It encompasses 8 interdependent factors that cover 3 main areas: wisdom, ethical conduct, and mental development. The Eightfold Path consists of the following elements. Right understanding. the cultivation of wisdom and insight into the nature of reality, including the understanding of the Four Noble Truths. Right intention, the development of wholesome intentions and attitudes, such as renunciation, compassion, and non-harming. Right speech, the practice of truthful, kind, and skillful communication, avoiding harmful or divisive speech. Right action, ethical conduct that refrains from harming others, including abstaining from killing, stealing, and sexual misconduct. Right livelihood, engaging in a livelihood that is ethically sound and does not cause harm to others. Right effort, the cultivation of energy and commitment in practicing wholesome qualities and abandoning unwholesome ones. Right mindfulness, the development of present moment awareness and mindful observation of one's body, feelings, mind, and phenomena. Right concentration, the cultivation of focused and collected mental states through meditation practices, leading to deep states of concentration and insight. The Eightfold Path provides a comprehensive framework for ethical living, mental cultivation, and the realization of enlightenment. It serves as a guide for practitioners to develop wisdom, cultivate virtuous behavior, and cultivate a clear and focused mind. 3.43 Marks of Existence. The 3 marks of existence are essential principles that illuminate the nature of reality according to Buddhist teachings. These marks are impermanence, anicca, suffering, dukkha, and non-self, anatta. Impermanence, anicca, refers to the transient and ever-changing nature of all phenomena. Nothing remains fixed or permanent, and all conditioned things are subject to arising and ceasing. Recognizing impermanence helps practitioners let go of attachments and develop a deeper understanding of the nature of reality. Suffering, dukkha, encompasses the unsatisfactoriness and inherent imperfections of existence. It extends beyond obvious forms of pain and includes the subtle discontentment and dissatisfaction experienced in everyday life. Understanding the nature of suffering is crucial to the pursuit of liberation and the cessation of suffering. Non-self, anatta, challenges the concept of a permanent and independent self. According to Buddhism, there is no inherent, unchanging self or soul. Instead, the individual is seen as a collection of ever-changing physical and mental processes. The recognition of non-self helps practitioners overcome the illusion of a fixed identity and fosters a sense of interconnectedness with all beings. By contemplating the 3 marks of existence, practitioners develop insights into the nature of reality and gain a deeper understanding of the causes of suffering. These insights inform the practice of mindfulness, compassion, and the pursuit of liberation from the cycle of suffering. The Four Noble Truths serve as the bedrock of Buddhist philosophy, encapsulating the essence of the Buddha's teachings. They provide a clear diagnosis of the human condition and offer a roadmap for transcendence. By acknowledging the truth of suffering, practitioners gain a realistic perspective on the nature of existence, recognizing that suffering is a universal experience that can be understood and overcome. The Second Noble Truth, the cause of suffering, sheds light on the role of craving and attachment in perpetuating the cycle of dissatisfaction and discontentment. By recognizing that desire, clinging, and ignorance are at the root of suffering, individuals can cultivate a deeper understanding of their own mental patterns and work towards liberation from these causes. The Third Noble Truth brings hope and reassurance, emphasizing that the cessation of suffering is indeed possible. It holds the promise that through the removal of craving and attachment, individuals can attain a state of liberation and freedom from suffering. This understanding inspires practitioners to embark on the path of transformation and self-discovery. The Fourth Noble Truth, the path to the cessation of suffering, introduces the Eightfold Path as the means to attain liberation. Each aspect of the Eightfold Path, from right understanding to right concentration, represents a vital component of the spiritual journey. This path offers a holistic approach, integrating wisdom, ethics, and mental cultivation to guide practitioners towards enlightenment. The concept of the 3 marks of existence further deepens the understanding of reality in Buddhist teachings. Impermanence, anicca, is a profound insight into the ever-changing nature of phenomena. By recognizing the impermanent nature of all things, individuals are encouraged to cultivate non-attachment and embrace the fluidity of life. Suffering, dukkha, as the second mark of existence, encompasses not only overt pain and suffering but also the subtle forms of discontentment and unsatisfactoriness that pervade human experience. Understanding the all-pervasive nature of suffering helps individuals develop compassion, empathy, and a greater appreciation for the impermanence of pleasure and the futility of chasing external sources of happiness. Non-self, anatta, challenges the deeply ingrained notion of a fixed, independent self or soul. This teaching invites individuals to explore the interconnectedness and interdependence of all phenomena. By realizing that there is no separate, enduring self, individuals can let go of egoic attachments and cultivate a deeper sense of unity with all beings. The teachings of the Four Noble Truths, the Eightfold Path, and the Three Marks of Existence work synergistically, providing a comprehensive framework for understanding the nature of existence and offering practical tools for personal transformation. They guide individuals on a profound journey of self-discovery, leading to the realization of enlightenment and the liberation from suffering. Moreover, these teachings extend beyond the theoretical realm, manifesting in everyday life. Practitioners of Buddhism are encouraged to apply these teachings to their thoughts, words, and actions, cultivating mindfulness, ethical conduct, and compassionate attitudes in their interactions with others. Chapter 4. Requirements and Practices. Chapter 4 delves into the essential requirements and practices within Buddhism that facilitate spiritual growth, ethical living, and the cultivation of wisdom. It explores the ethical guidelines, meditation and mindfulness practices, monastic life, and the rituals and ceremonies that are integral to the Buddhist tradition. 4.1 Ethical Guidelines. Ethical conduct occupies a central position in Buddhist teachings, providing a moral framework for practitioners. The ethical guidelines, often referred to as the Five Precepts, are principles that guide individuals towards compassionate and virtuous behavior. These precepts are: refraining from taking life. This precept encourages practitioners to avoid causing harm to any living being intentionally. It promotes respect for all forms of life and the cultivation of nonviolence. Refraining from stealing. The second precept urges practitioners to refrain from taking what is not freely given. It emphasizes honesty, integrity, and respect for others' property and belongings. Refraining from sexual misconduct. This precept encourages practitioners to engage in responsible and respectful sexual behavior. It emphasizes fidelity, consent, and the avoidance of sexual exploitation or harm. Refraining from false speech. Practitioners are urged to be truthful and honest in their speech. This precept discourages lying, gossiping, harsh speech, and any form of speech that causes harm or discord. Refraining from intoxicants. The final precept advises practitioners to abstain from substances that cloud the mind and impair judgment. It promotes clarity, mindfulness, and the cultivation of a balanced and alert state of mind. By adhering to these ethical guidelines, practitioners cultivate a sense of responsibility, compassion, and mindfulness in their actions, fostering a harmonious and compassionate society. 4.2 Meditation and Mindfulness. Meditation and mindfulness are central practices in Buddhism, serving as powerful tools for self-discovery, concentration, and the cultivation of insight. Various forms of meditation are taught and practiced within the Buddhist tradition, with mindfulness being a prominent aspect. Mindfulness involves cultivating a present moment awareness and non-judgmental observation of one's thoughts, emotions, bodily sensations, and the surrounding environment. Through mindfulness, practitioners develop an understanding of the impermanent and conditioned nature of experience, fostering a deeper sense of acceptance and equanimity. Meditation practices range from concentration techniques to insight meditation. Concentration meditation aims to cultivate focused attention and mental stability, often by focusing on a single object such as the breath or a specific mantra. Insight meditation, on the other hand, involves observing the nature of the mind and phenomena, cultivating wisdom, and developing a direct experiential understanding of the three marks of existence. By incorporating meditation and mindfulness practices into their daily lives, practitioners develop clarity of mind, emotional resilience, and an enhanced ability to respond skillfully to life's challenges. These practices also deepen self-awareness and cultivate a sense of interconnectedness and compassion towards oneself and others. 4.3 Monastic life. Monasticism holds a significant place within Buddhism, providing a dedicated path for individuals to pursue spiritual awakening and the liberation from suffering. Monks, bhikkhus, and nuns, bhikkhunis, renounce worldly attachments and commit themselves to a disciplined and austere life. Monastic life involves strict adherence to ethical guidelines, intensive meditation practice, and the study and preservation of Buddhist teachings. Monastics live in monasteries or nunneries, forming a community, sangha, that supports their spiritual growth and serves as a custodian of the Buddhist tradition. The monastic path offers an environment conducive to focused practice, free from worldly distractions. Monastics renounce material possessions, adopt a simple and ascetic lifestyle, and depend on the generosity of lay practitioners for their basic needs. This reliance on alms and the support of the lay community fosters a symbiotic relationship between monastics and lay people, with each playing a vital role in supporting the other's spiritual journey. Monastic life provides a platform for deepening meditation practice, studying Buddhist scriptures, and engaging in communal rituals and ceremonies. Monastics dedicate themselves to the pursuit of wisdom, compassion, and the realization of enlightenment, serving as spiritual guides and exemplars for lay practitioners. While monastic life is not a requirement for all Buddhists, it serves as an inspiration and reminder of the ideals and commitments central to the Buddhist path. Lay practitioners, while engaged in their everyday lives, strive to live in accordance with the ethical principles, engage in regular meditation practice, and support the monastic community through offerings and acts of generosity. 4.4 Rituals and ceremonies. Rituals and ceremonies play an important role in the Buddhist tradition, providing opportunities for communal worship, expression of devotion, and the transmission of teachings. These rituals and ceremonies vary across different Buddhist traditions and cultures but often involve the chanting of scriptures, prostrations, offering of flowers, incense, and candles, and the recitation of prayers or mantras. Rituals and ceremonies serve as a means to cultivate mindfulness, gratitude, and reverence, deepening the spiritual connection with the teachings and the community. They provide a sense of continuity with the historical lineage of Buddhism and serve as important occasions for celebrating significant events in the life of the Buddha and other revered figures. One significant ritual in Buddhism is the act of taking refuge in the triple gem or three jewels: the Buddha, the Awakened One, the Dharma, the teachings, and the Sangha, the community of practitioners. Taking refuge signifies a commitment to follow the Buddhist path and seek guidance and support from the three jewels. While rituals and ceremonies hold cultural and traditional significance, their essence lies in the intention, devotion, and inner transformation they inspire. They provide a means for individuals to express their spiritual aspirations, deepen their connection to the teachings, and foster a sense of unity within the Buddhist community. Ethical guidelines serve as a compass for moral conduct, guiding individuals to act with kindness, compassion, and integrity. By adhering to the 5 precepts, practitioners develop a heightened sense of responsibility towards themselves and others. This commitment to ethical living fosters harmonious relationships, social harmony, and the cultivation of a virtuous character. The practices of meditation and mindfulness offer practitioners a path to inner peace, self-discovery, and the development of insight. Through regular meditation practice, individuals learn to calm the mind, cultivate clarity, and gain a deeper understanding of the nature of their thoughts, emotions, and experiences. Mindfulness, both on and off the meditation cushion, enhances present moment awareness, allowing practitioners to fully engage with the richness of life and develop a more profound sense of acceptance and equanimity. Monastic life, while not pursued by all Buddhists, exemplifies the dedicated pursuit of spiritual awakening and the renunciation of worldly attachments. The monastic path provides an environment conducive to deepening practice and study, fostering a sense of discipline, simplicity, and detachment from material possessions. Monastics serve as beacons of inspiration, reminding lay practitioners of the possibilities of a committed spiritual life and offering guidance on the path to liberation. Rituals and ceremonies hold a special place in Buddhism, serving as sacred occasions for the community to come together and express devotion. These rituals provide a sense of connection to the historical lineage of Buddhism and create a space for individuals to reflect, contemplate, and deepen their spiritual connection. Through participation in rituals, practitioners cultivate a sense of reverence, gratitude, and interconnectedness, enriching their spiritual lives and strengthening their connection to the broader Buddhist community. The requirements and practices within Buddhism are not isolated elements but an interconnected tapestry that supports and reinforces one another. Ethical conduct lays the foundation for the development of mindfulness and concentration, enabling practitioners to engage in deeper meditation and gain insights into the nature of reality. Monastic life exemplifies the dedicated pursuit of spiritual growth and serves as an inspiration for lay practitioners to deepen their commitment to the Buddhist path. Rituals and ceremonies provide a means for individuals to express their devotion, foster community cohesion, and nourish the spiritual dimension of their lives. Ultimately, the requirements and practices in Buddhism are not mere rituals or obligations but tools for personal transformation and spiritual awakening. They provide a roadmap for individuals to navigate the complexities of human existence, cultivate inner peace, and develop wisdom and compassion. By engaging in these practices, practitioners not only benefit themselves but also contribute to the well-being and harmony of society as a whole. Chapter 5. Beliefs and Philosophy. Chapter 5 delves into the core beliefs and philosophical underpinnings of Buddhism. It explores concepts such as karma, rebirth, dependent origination, and the ultimate goal of enlightenment. Understanding the beliefs and philosophy of Buddhism is crucial to comprehending the worldview and guiding principles of this ancient tradition. 5.1 Karma and Rebirth. Karma and rebirth are fundamental concepts in Buddhism that shed light on the nature of cause and effect and the continuity of existence beyond a single lifetime. According to Buddhist teachings, karma refers to the intentional actions of body, speech, and mind that shape an individual's future experiences. Positive actions lead to positive outcomes, while negative actions result in negative consequences. The concept of rebirth, or reincarnation, asserts that consciousness continues to manifest in new bodies after the death of the physical body. Rebirth is not seen as a continuation of an unchanging self or soul but rather as the continuity of consciousness influenced by past actions, karma. The cycle of rebirth continues until liberation from the cycle of suffering is attained. The understanding of karma and rebirth encourages practitioners to take responsibility for their actions, as they recognize that their present circumstances are influenced by past actions and that their future experiences depend on their current choices. It provides a framework for understanding the moral implications of one's actions and fosters a sense of personal agency and accountability. 5.2 Dependent Origination. Dependent origination, also known as interdependent arising, is a central concept in Buddhist philosophy that elucidates the interconnected nature of all phenomena. It explains how all things arise and exist in dependence on multiple causes and conditions, rather than having an inherent and independent existence. According to dependent origination, everything in the world is interconnected and arises due to a web of interdependent causes and conditions. This understanding dismantles the illusion of a separate and fixed self, as it reveals that one's thoughts, emotions, and experiences are influenced by a complex network of factors. The doctrine of dependent origination is often depicted through the 12 links of dependent origination, which illustrate the cycle of existence and the causes of suffering. This framework helps individuals recognize the causes and conditions that give rise to suffering and provides insight into the path to liberation from this cycle. By understanding dependent origination, practitioners develop a deeper sense of interconnectedness, compassion, and non-attachment. They recognize that their actions and choices have far-reaching consequences, not only for themselves but also for the well-being of others and the world at large. 5.3 The Ultimate Goal, Enlightenment. The ultimate goal of Buddhism is the attainment of enlightenment, also known as nirvana or awakening. Enlightenment is the state of complete liberation from suffering, ignorance, and the cycle of birth and death. It is the realization of the true nature of reality and the cessation of all mental defilements. Enlightenment is characterized by the direct experiential understanding of the Four Noble Truths, the three marks of existence, and the nature of dependent origination. It brings about profound wisdom, compassion, and freedom from all forms of craving and attachment. While enlightenment is often depicted as an individual attainment, Buddhism emphasizes the interconnectedness of all beings. The aspiration for enlightenment extends beyond personal liberation and includes the intention to help others on the path of awakening. The path to enlightenment is multifaceted and can vary among different Buddhist traditions. It involves the cultivation of wisdom through study, contemplation, and meditation, as well as the development of compassion, ethical conduct, and the eradication of defilements. Attaining enlightenment is considered a rare and arduous endeavor, requiring dedicated practice, perseverance, and the guidance of qualified teachers. However, Buddhism also recognizes that progress can be made at every stage of the path, and even small steps towards enlightenment bring about positive transformation and liberation from suffering. The pursuit of enlightenment serves as a guiding principle for Buddhist practitioners, inspiring them to develop wisdom, cultivate compassion, and live in alignment with the teachings. While the ultimate goal may seem distant, the journey itself is transformative, bringing about greater peace, clarity, and a profound understanding of the nature of reality. 5.4 Diversity and Interpretations. It is important to note that Buddhism encompasses a rich diversity of interpretations and practices, influenced by various cultural, historical, and geographical contexts. Different Buddhist traditions may place varying emphasis on certain beliefs and philosophical concepts, and their interpretations of karma, rebirth, dependent origination, and enlightenment can differ. For example, in Theravada Buddhism, practiced primarily in Southeast Asia, there is a strong emphasis on individual liberation and the monastic path. Mahayana Buddhism, prevalent in East Asia, emphasizes the cultivation of compassion and the aspiration to attain enlightenment not only for oneself but also for the benefit of all sentient beings. Vajrayana Buddhism, found mainly in Tibet and the Himalayan regions, incorporates esoteric practices and rituals to expedite the path to enlightenment. The diversity of interpretations within Buddhism allows for a richness and adaptability that enables the tradition to resonate with people from different cultures and backgrounds. It highlights the dynamic nature of Buddhism and its ability to evolve and adapt to changing times and contexts. Chapter 6. Buddhism in the Modern World. Chapter 6 explores the adaptation and transformation of Buddhism in the modern world. It examines how Buddhism has spread beyond its traditional cultural boundaries, the impact of globalization on the Buddhist tradition, and the challenges and opportunities presented in contemporary society. This chapter sheds light on the ways in which Buddhism has evolved and continues to resonate with individuals in the 21st century. 6.1 Global spread of Buddhism. Buddhism, originally rooted in ancient India, has expanded far beyond its traditional cultural boundaries. The teachings of the Buddha have traversed continents, spreading across Asia and reaching the shores of Europe, North America, and other parts of the world. Today, Buddhism is a global religion with millions of adherents across diverse cultures and societies. The spread of Buddhism has been facilitated by various factors, including migration, trade, missionary efforts, and the dissemination of Buddhist texts and teachings. As people from different backgrounds and cultures encountered Buddhism, they interpreted and assimilated its teachings in ways that resonated with their own worldviews and cultural contexts. This has led to the emergence of distinct Buddhist traditions and schools, each with its unique practices and interpretations. 6.2 Impact of globalization. Globalization, with its interconnectedness and exchange of ideas, has had a significant impact on Buddhism. Increased travel, communication, and the availability of information have facilitated the dissemination of Buddhist teachings and practices across the globe. This has allowed individuals from diverse backgrounds to access Buddhist teachings and engage in Buddhist practices, even in regions where Buddhism has historically been absent. Furthermore, globalization has provided opportunities for cross-cultural dialogue and the exchange of ideas between Buddhist practitioners and scholars from different traditions. This has led to a deepening understanding of the diverse interpretations and practices within Buddhism, fostering mutual respect and collaboration. At the same time, globalization has also presented challenges to traditional Buddhist practices and values. The rapid pace of modern life, consumerism, and materialistic pursuits can create obstacles to the cultivation of mindfulness, ethical living, and the pursuit of spiritual growth. Additionally, the influence of secularism and skepticism in some societies has posed challenges to the traditional religious framework of Buddhism. 6.3 Engaged Buddhism. Engaged Buddhism is a movement that emerged in the 20th century, emphasizing the active involvement of Buddhists in social, political, and environmental issues. Engaged Buddhists seek to apply the principles and values of Buddhism to address societal problems and promote positive change in the world. Engaged Buddhism encompasses various forms of social activism, including human rights advocacy, environmental conservation, peace building, and community development. By actively participating in these areas, engaged Buddhists aim to alleviate suffering, promote compassion, and cultivate a more just and equitable society. This movement has gained traction in many parts of the world, particularly in response to social injustices, environmental crises, and conflicts. Engaged Buddhists recognize the interconnectedness of all beings and the responsibility to work towards the welfare and liberation of all. 6.4 Buddhism and Science. In recent years, Buddhism and science have engaged in a fruitful dialogue, with scholars and scientists exploring the intersection of these two disciplines. This dialogue has led to collaborations, research projects, and conferences, examining areas such as the neuroscience of meditation, the psychology of mindfulness, and the exploration of consciousness. The compatibility between Buddhism and science arises from their shared emphasis on empirical observation, critical inquiry, and the quest for understanding the nature of reality. Buddhist practices, such as meditation and mindfulness, have been subjects of scientific research, providing valuable insights into mental well-being, attentional processes, and the neuroscience of consciousness. The dialogue between Buddhism and science has not only deepened our understanding of the mind and human experience but has also contributed to the broader dialogue on the nature of reality, consciousness, and the interconnectedness of all phenomena. It highlights the potential for complementary perspectives from both disciplines, offering new avenues for exploration and a more holistic understanding of the human experience. 6.5 Challenges and Opportunities. While Buddhism has found a global presence and continues to inspire and guide individuals, it also faces challenges in the modern world. The rapid pace of life, materialistic values, and the dominance of technology can create distractions and hinder the cultivation of mindfulness and spiritual growth. Moreover, as Buddhism encounters new cultural contexts, it must adapt and respond to the needs and concerns of contemporary society. This requires finding ways to communicate the teachings effectively, addressing social and environmental issues, and engaging with diverse communities. However, the modern world also presents opportunities for Buddhism to thrive. The availability of technology and digital platforms enables broader access to Buddhist teachings and practices, reaching individuals who might not have had access to them previously. Online communities, meditation apps, and virtual teachings have expanded the reach of Buddhism, fostering connections and support networks across the globe. Furthermore, the increasing interest in mindfulness, meditation, and holistic well-being provides an opportunity for Buddhism to contribute to the discourse on mental health, stress reduction, and overall well-being. Buddhist teachings and practices offer valuable tools for individuals to navigate the challenges of modern life, cultivate inner peace, and develop greater resilience. Chapter 7. Interfaith Dialogue in Buddhism. Chapter 7 explores the role of Buddhism in interfaith dialogue, emphasizing the importance of mutual understanding, respect, and collaboration among different religious traditions. It delves into the principles and practices that guide interfaith dialogue and highlights the contributions of Buddhism to fostering harmonious relationships and promoting religious pluralism. 7.1 Principles of Interfaith Dialogue. Interfaith dialogue is a process of engaging in meaningful conversations and exchanges among representatives of different religious traditions. It is based on the principles of mutual respect, understanding, and the recognition of the shared values and aspirations among diverse religious communities. In interfaith dialogue, participants seek to build bridges of communication, dispel misconceptions, and promote peaceful coexistence. The principles of active listening, empathy, and the recognition of the intrinsic worth and dignity of all individuals guide the process of interfaith dialogue. The aim of interfaith dialogue is not to merge or homogenize religious traditions but rather to appreciate and celebrate their unique contributions to the richness of human experience. Through dialogue, participants learn from one another, deepen their own faith perspectives, and find common ground for collaboration in addressing societal challenges. 7.2 Buddhist contributions to interfaith dialogue. Buddhism brings several unique contributions to interfaith dialogue. Its core teachings, such as compassion, nonviolence, and the recognition of the interdependence of all beings, provide a foundation for dialogue based on understanding and harmony. Buddhism's emphasis on mindfulness and self-reflection encourages practitioners to cultivate openness, curiosity, and deep listening, the essential qualities for fruitful interfaith dialogue. The practice of mindfulness enables individuals to be fully present, to suspend judgment, and to engage with others in a compassionate and non-confrontational manner. Buddhism also offers a philosophical framework that complements interfaith dialogue. Concepts such as emptiness, sunyata, and the middle way provide insights into the nature of reality and the possibility of embracing diversity without clinging to fixed views. These teachings foster humility, openness, and a willingness to learn from different perspectives. Moreover, Buddhist history is replete with examples of interfaith engagement. Throughout the centuries, Buddhists have interacted with practitioners of other faiths, engaging in philosophical discussions, artistic collaborations, and the exchange of ideas. These interactions have contributed to the enrichment and evolution of Buddhist thought and practice. 7.3 Challenges and opportunities in interfaith dialogue. Interfaith dialogue is not without its challenges. Cultural differences, theological disagreements, and historical tensions can create barriers to understanding and collaboration. However, these challenges also present opportunities for growth, as they invite participants to engage in deep listening, empathy, and a willingness to explore common ground. One challenge is the potential for misrepresentation or misunderstanding of Buddhist teachings and practices. It is essential for participants in interfaith dialogue to approach Buddhism with an accurate understanding, recognizing its diverse interpretations and practices across different cultural contexts. Another challenge is the need to address social and ethical issues that intersect with religious beliefs. Buddhism can contribute to interfaith dialogue by sharing its insights on compassion, social justice, and environmental stewardship. By addressing these concerns collectively, religious communities can work towards a more just and sustainable world. The opportunities in interfaith dialogue are vast. It provides a platform for religious communities to unite in addressing global challenges, such as poverty, inequality, and climate change. Through collaboration, shared values, and collective action, religious traditions, including Buddhism, can have a significant positive impact on the world. Interfaith dialogue also fosters personal growth, as individuals encounter diverse perspectives and engage in self-reflection. It broadens one's understanding of different religious traditions, deepens one's appreciation for the complexity of human spirituality, and promotes a more inclusive and empathetic worldview. Chapter 8. Buddhism and Ethics. Chapter 8 delves into the ethical dimensions of Buddhism, exploring the principles, values, and practices that guide ethical conduct within the Buddhist tradition. It examines the importance of ethics in the pursuit of spiritual growth and liberation from suffering, and how Buddhist ethics extends beyond individual behavior to encompass social and environmental responsibility. 8.1 The foundation of Buddhist ethics. Ethical conduct, known as sila, forms the foundation of Buddhist practice. Sila encompasses the principles and guidelines that guide individuals in their thoughts, speech, and actions. It emphasizes the cultivation of virtues such as compassion, honesty, generosity, and mindfulness. The ethical framework in Buddhism is grounded in the understanding of karma, the law of cause and effect. The concept of karma highlights the interplay between actions and their consequences, emphasizing the importance of acting with intention and awareness. The 5 precepts, which were discussed earlier, serve as fundamental guidelines for ethical conduct in Buddhism. They provide a framework for practitioners to refrain from harming others, engage in honest and respectful communication, cultivate sexual responsibility, practice truthfulness, and avoid intoxicants that cloud the mind. 8.2 Ethical Conduct and Spiritual Growth. Ethical conduct is not viewed as a set of rules imposed from external sources but as a means for personal growth and the cultivation of wisdom. It is seen as an integral part of the spiritual path, supporting the development of mindfulness, concentration, and insight. Engaging in ethical conduct purifies the mind, creating the conditions necessary for the cultivation of wisdom and the realization of enlightenment. By acting in alignment with ethical principles, individuals reduce the causes of suffering, develop positive mental states, and cultivate a sense of inner harmony. Ethical conduct also enhances interpersonal relationships, fostering trust, respect, and harmonious coexistence. By cultivating virtues such as compassion and generosity, individuals contribute to the welfare of others, creating a positive ripple effect in their immediate surroundings and society at large. 8.3 Social and Environmental Responsibility. Buddhist ethics extends beyond individual conduct to encompass social and environmental responsibility. Buddhism recognizes the interconnectedness of all beings and emphasizes the importance of working towards the welfare and liberation of all. In the social sphere, Buddhist teachings emphasize principles such as social justice, equality, and compassion for all beings. Buddhism encourages individuals to engage in acts of service, alleviate the suffering of others, and promote fairness and equity in society. Environmental responsibility is also integral to Buddhist ethics. Buddhism emphasizes the interdependence between humans and the natural world, recognizing the importance of ecological balance for the well-being of all beings. Buddhist teachings advocate for sustainable living, the conservation of natural resources, and the reduction of harm to the environment. 8.4 Ethical Challenges in the Modern World. In the modern world, Buddhist ethics face various challenges. The globalized and consumerist culture, driven by materialistic values, can promote selfishness, greed, and environmental degradation. Additionally, advancements in technology raise new ethical dilemmas and questions, such as the ethical use of artificial intelligence and the responsible management of digital information. However, Buddhist ethics also offer guidance and solutions to these challenges. The cultivation of mindfulness and ethical awareness helps individuals navigate the complexities of the modern world and make choices that are in line with their values and the well-being of others. Moreover, Buddhist teachings promote a shift in consciousness, a move away from a self-centered perspective towards an understanding of interconnectedness and the cultivation of compassion. This shift in consciousness can inspire individuals and communities to address societal and environmental issues and work towards a more just and sustainable world. 8.5 Engaged Buddhism and Social Activism. Engaged Buddhism, as discussed earlier, highlights the active involvement of Buddhists in addressing social, political, and environmental issues. Engaged Buddhists apply Buddhist principles and values to promote positive change in society and advocate for social justice, peace, and environmental sustainability. Engaged Buddhists engage in various forms of social activism, such as advocating for human rights, working towards poverty alleviation, promoting nonviolence, and addressing environmental concerns. They recognize the interconnectedness of all beings and the interplay between individual actions and societal well-being. Engaged Buddhism demonstrates that ethical conduct is not limited to personal behavior but extends to collective action and social transformation. It emphasizes the importance of translating Buddhist principles into tangible efforts that address systemic injustices and promote the welfare of all beings. Chapter 9. Buddhism and Mindfulness. Chapter 9 explores the profound relationship between Buddhism and mindfulness. It delves into the origins and development of mindfulness within the Buddhist tradition, its transformative power, and its contemporary applications in various aspects of life. 9.1 The origins of mindfulness in Buddhism. Mindfulness, known as sati in Pali and smriti in Sanskrit, has its roots in the teachings of the Buddha. It is one of the essential factors of the Noble Eightfold Path, the path to the cessation of suffering and the realization of enlightenment. The Buddha emphasized the cultivation of mindfulness as a means to develop insight and overcome the mental defilements that cause suffering. Mindfulness involves being fully present, observing the nature of one's thoughts, feelings, bodily sensations, and the surrounding environment without judgment or attachment. In Buddhist practice, mindfulness is cultivated through various methods, including formal meditation, daily activities, and the practice of mindfulness in daily life. The objective is to develop a moment-to-moment awareness that allows for a direct and clear understanding of the impermanent and conditioned nature of all experiences. 9.2 The transformative power of mindfulness. Mindfulness is revered for its transformative power within the Buddhist tradition. By cultivating mindfulness, individuals develop a deep understanding of the workings of the mind and the nature of suffering. It allows for the direct observation of thoughts, emotions, and sensations, enabling practitioners to cultivate clarity, equanimity, and wisdom. Through mindfulness, individuals become aware of the constant fluctuations of their mental states and the habitual patterns of the mind. This awareness provides an opportunity to recognize and let go of unwholesome thoughts and emotions, fostering a sense of freedom and inner peace. Mindfulness also enhances the ability to respond skillfully to life's challenges and cultivate positive mental states such as compassion, loving-kindness, and gratitude. By being fully present in each moment, individuals can engage with life more authentically and develop a deeper connection to themselves and others. 9.3 Mindfulness in contemporary contexts. In recent decades, mindfulness has gained significant attention and popularity beyond the boundaries of the Buddhist tradition. Its applications have expanded into various secular contexts, including healthcare, psychology, education, and the workplace. Mindfulness-based interventions have been developed to address a range of issues, such as stress reduction, pain management, anxiety, depression, and addiction. The practice of mindfulness has shown promising results in improving overall well-being, enhancing mental health, and promoting resilience. In healthcare settings, mindfulness is integrated into therapies such as mindfulness-based stress reduction, MBSR, and mindfulness-based cognitive therapy, MBCT. These approaches utilize mindfulness practices to cultivate self-awareness, reduce distress, and promote healing and self-care. In education, mindfulness programs are being implemented to foster emotional regulation, attentional skills, and social-emotional learning among students. Mindfulness practices provide tools for children and adolescents to manage stress, enhance focus, and develop empathy and compassion. Furthermore, mindfulness is being incorporated into workplace settings to enhance employee well-being, reduce stress, and improve productivity. Mindfulness-based programs and organizations offer techniques to cultivate resilience, communication skills, and emotional intelligence. 9.4 Mindfulness and ethics. In the Buddhist tradition, mindfulness is inseparable from ethical conduct. The cultivation of mindfulness is intimately connected to the development of virtues such as compassion, non-harming, and ethical awareness. Mindfulness enables individuals to observe their intentions and actions, cultivating an increased sensitivity to the impact of their choices on themselves and others. It fosters a deep sense of responsibility and encourages the development of ethical behavior and compassionate action. By cultivating mindfulness, individuals become more attuned to their ethical values and act in alignment with them. Mindfulness practice supports the recognition of the interconnectedness of all beings and encourages ethical behavior that promotes the welfare and liberation of all. 9.5 Mindfulness as a spiritual practice. While mindfulness has found widespread secular applications, it remains an integral part of the Buddhist spiritual path. Mindfulness practice is not solely focused on stress reduction or improved performance but is deeply intertwined with the pursuit of liberation from suffering and the realization of enlightenment. Within the Buddhist context, mindfulness is practiced as part of a comprehensive path that includes ethical conduct, meditation, wisdom cultivation, and the development of compassion. Mindfulness serves as a foundation for deepening concentration, investigating the nature of reality, and developing insight into the impermanence, unsatisfactoriness, and selflessness of all phenomena. The practice of mindfulness supports the development of qualities such as equanimity, non-attachment, and an embodied presence that allows for a direct experience of the present moment. It is through this direct experience that practitioners gain profound insights into the nature of suffering and the potential for liberation. 9.6 Mindfulness and the Path to Awakening. In Buddhism, mindfulness is not viewed as a goal in itself but as a means to cultivate the factors necessary for spiritual awakening. The practice of mindfulness supports the development of concentration, samadhi, which leads to the deepening of insight, vipassana. By cultivating mindfulness, individuals develop a heightened awareness of the arising and passing of mental and physical phenomena, leading to the realization of their impermanent and conditioned nature. This insight into the nature of reality supports the liberation from clinging, attachment, and the causes of suffering. The practice of mindfulness also nurtures the development of wisdom, compassion, and the cultivation of wholesome mental states. As practitioners deepen their mindfulness practice, they become more attuned to the interconnectedness of all beings, cultivating a sense of care, empathy, and an aspiration to alleviate suffering in themselves and others. Chapter 10. Buddhism and the Path to Liberation. Chapter 10 delves into the core teachings and practices of Buddhism that lead to liberation from suffering and the realization of enlightenment. It explores the path to liberation, the role of meditation and wisdom, and the transformative journey towards spiritual awakening. 10.1 The Four Noble Truths. At the heart of Buddhism are the Four Noble Truths, which provide the framework for understanding the nature of suffering and the path to liberation. The Four Noble Truths are: the truth of suffering, dukkha, the recognition that life is inherently marked by suffering, dissatisfaction, and impermanence. Suffering arises from attachment, aversion, and ignorance. The truth of the origin of suffering, samudaya, the understanding that suffering arises from craving and clinging, fueled by ignorance of the true nature of reality. Craving and clinging create a cycle of dissatisfaction and perpetuate the cycle of rebirth. The truth of the cessation of suffering, nirvana, the realization that the cessation of suffering is possible by eradicating craving and clinging, thus attaining liberation from the cycle of birth and death. The truth of the path to the cessation of suffering, magga, the recognition that there is a path, known as the Noble Eightfold Path, that leads to the cessation of suffering and the realization of enlightenment. 10.2 The Noble Eightfold Path. The Noble Eightfold Path, as elucidated by the Buddha, is the path to liberation and the realization of enlightenment. It consists of 8 interconnected factors that guide practitioners in cultivating wisdom, ethical conduct, and mental development. The Noble Eightfold Path comprises right view, the correct understanding of the nature of reality, the Four Noble Truths, and the law of karma. Right intention, the cultivation of wholesome intentions and the renunciation of harmful thoughts, desires, and motivations. Right speech, the practice of truthful, kind, and skillful communication, avoiding harmful speech such as lying, divisive speech, harsh speech, and gossip. Right action, the cultivation of ethical conduct, refraining from harming living beings, stealing, engaging in sexual misconduct, and practicing generosity and compassion. Right livelihood, engaging in an occupation that is honorable, ethical, and supports the well-being of others, avoiding livelihoods that involve harm, deception, or exploitation. Right effort, the cultivation of diligent effort to abandon unwholesome mental states, cultivate wholesome mental states, and maintain a balanced and focused mind. Right mindfulness, the cultivation of present moment awareness and mindfulness in all activities, observing the body, feelings, mind, and phenomena with clarity and equanimity. Right concentration, the development of focused, calm, and concentrated states of mind through meditation practice, leading to deep states of absorption, jhana, and the direct realization of the nature of reality. The Noble Eightfold Path is not a linear progression but a holistic and integrated approach to spiritual development. The factors of the path support and reinforce one another, leading to the cultivation of wisdom, ethical conduct, and mental purification. 10.3 Meditation and Mental Development. Meditation is a central practice within Buddhism, serving as a means to develop concentration, mindfulness, and insight. It provides a direct experiential exploration of the mind and supports the cultivation of wisdom and the cessation of suffering. The practice of meditation encompasses various techniques, such as mindfulness of breath, anapanasati, loving-kindness, metta, compassion, karuna, and insight meditation, vipassana. These practices involve the cultivation of present-moment awareness, the development of concentration, and the investigation of the nature of mind and phenomena. Through meditation, practitioners develop the ability to observe the arising and passing of thoughts, emotions, and sensations without attachment or aversion. This cultivates a deep understanding of the impermanent, unsatisfactory, and selfless nature of all phenomena, leading to insights into the nature of reality and the cessation of suffering. Meditation also promotes the development of positive mental states such as compassion, loving-kindness, and equanimity. It helps individuals cultivate a sense of inner peace, resilience, and a compassionate attitude towards themselves and others. 10.4 The role of wisdom and insight. Wisdom, known as prajna in Buddhism, is a vital component of the path to liberation. It involves the direct realization and understanding of the true nature of reality, transcending conventional notions of self and the delusions of ego. Wisdom arises from the cultivation of mindfulness, investigation, and contemplation of the nature of mind and phenomena. It enables individuals to recognize the impermanent, unsatisfactory, and selfless nature of all conditioned phenomena, leading to a profound shift in perception and understanding. Insight, vipassana, meditation plays a crucial role in developing wisdom. Through the practice of insight meditation, individuals investigate the arising and passing of experiences, observing the three characteristics of existence: impermanence, anicca, unsatisfactoriness, dukkha, and non-self, anatta. Insight meditation enables practitioners to penetrate the illusions of the ego, to see through the delusions of attachment and aversion, and to develop a direct understanding of the interconnectedness and interdependence of all phenomena. This insight leads to the realization of the emptiness, sunyata, of inherent existence and the liberation from suffering. 10.5 The transformative journey. The path to liberation within Buddhism is not a quick fix or an external attainment but a transformative journey of self-discovery and inner cultivation. It requires dedication, perseverance, and a willingness to confront the deep-seated patterns of attachment, aversion, and ignorance. The transformative journey towards liberation is characterized by the cultivation of mindfulness, ethical conduct, mental development, and the deepening of wisdom and insight. It involves the purification of the mind, the gradual eradication of defilements, and the realization of the true nature of reality. This journey is not limited to monastic practitioners but is open to individuals from all walks of life. It is a path of personal transformation that can be integrated into one's daily life, relationships, and engagement with the world. 10.6 Liberation and the attainment of enlightenment. The ultimate goal of the Buddhist path is liberation from suffering and the realization of enlightenment, also known as nirvana or awakening. Enlightenment is the direct experiential realization of the Four Noble Truths and the cessation of all mental defilements. Enlightenment brings about profound wisdom, compassion, and freedom from all forms of craving and attachment. It is characterized by the direct realization of the true nature of reality and the transcendence of conventional notions of self. While the attainment of enlightenment may be rare and require dedicated practice, Buddhism recognizes that progress can be made at every stage of the path. Even small steps towards liberation bring about positive transformation and contribute to the cessation of suffering. Chapter 11. Buddhist Practices and Rituals. Chapter 11 explores the diverse range of practices and rituals within the Buddhist tradition. It examines the role of rituals in expressing devotion, cultivating mindfulness, and fostering a sense of community. The chapter also delves into the significance of key practices such as meditation, chanting, and pilgrimage. 11.1 The role of rituals in Buddhism. Rituals hold an important place in Buddhism, serving as means to express devotion, reverence, and gratitude towards the Buddha, Dharma, the teachings, and Sangha, the community of practitioners. Rituals provide a tangible way to connect with the spiritual dimensions of Buddhism and evoke a sense of sacredness. Rituals in Buddhism often involve symbolic gestures, chants, offerings, and the use of ritual objects. They can take place in temples, monasteries, or in the homes of practitioners. Through rituals, practitioners engage their senses, cultivating mindfulness and creating a conducive environment for spiritual practice. While rituals vary across different Buddhist traditions and cultures, their underlying purpose is to deepen one's connection to the teachings and the spiritual path. Rituals can also serve as a way to mark important life events, such as birth, marriage, and death, providing solace and guidance during significant transitions. 11.2 Meditation as a central practice. Meditation holds a central place in Buddhist practice, serving as a transformative tool for cultivating mindfulness, concentration, and insight. It is through meditation that practitioners develop a deep understanding of the mind, the nature of reality, and the cessation of suffering. Various meditation techniques are practiced within Buddhism, including mindfulness of breath, anapanasati, loving kindness, metta, insight, vipassana, and visualization. These practices involve the cultivation of present moment awareness, the development of concentration, and the investigation of the nature of mind and phenomena. Meditation allows practitioners to observe the arising and passing of thoughts, emotions, and sensations, cultivating a deep sense of insight into the impermanence, unsatisfactoriness, and selflessness of all conditioned phenomena. Through sustained practice, meditation leads to the deepening of wisdom and the realization of the nature of reality. 11.3 Chanting and Recitation. Chanting and recitation of Buddhist texts and mantras are prevalent practices in many Buddhist traditions. Chanting serves multiple purposes, including invoking blessings, expressing devotion, and cultivating mindfulness. Chanting can be done individually or collectively, often accompanied by the rhythmic beating of drums, the ringing of bells, or the use of musical instruments. Through the repetition of sacred words and phrases, practitioners focus their minds, immerse themselves in the teachings, and create an atmosphere of reverence. Chanting also serves as a form of oral transmission, preserving and passing down the teachings from generation to generation. The melodic and rhythmic quality of chants can create a sense of harmony, fostering a collective sense of community and shared practice. 11.4 Pilgrimage and Sacred Sites. Pilgrimage holds a significant place in Buddhism, with practitioners journeying to sacred sites associated with the life of the Buddha or other revered Buddhist figures. Pilgrimage provides an opportunity to deepen one's connection to the spiritual path, receive blessings, and cultivate devotion. Pilgrimage sites can include the birthplace of the Buddha in Lumbini, the site of his enlightenment in Bodh Gaya, and the place of his first sermon in Sarnath. Other notable pilgrimage destinations include the ancient city of Varanasi, the holy mountain of Kailash, and the Buddhist pilgrimage circuit in Tibet. Pilgrimage is not limited to physical travel but can also be undertaken in a metaphorical sense, symbolizing the inward journey towards self-transformation and enlightenment. It represents the commitment to spiritual growth, the deepening of one's faith, and the exploration of sacred teachings and places. 11.5 Engaging in Generosity and Service. Generosity, known as dana in Buddhism, is a fundamental practice that cultivates selflessness, compassion, and the recognition of interdependence. Practitioners engage in acts of generosity by offering donations, supporting monastic communities, and engaging in acts of service to others. Through acts of generosity, individuals cultivate a sense of detachment from material possessions and develop a deep understanding of the interconnectedness of all beings. Generosity fosters qualities such as compassion, kindness, and the recognition of the inherent worth and dignity of all individuals. Engaging in acts of service, known as seva in some Buddhist traditions, provides an opportunity to alleviate suffering, support the well-being of others, and contribute to the welfare of society. Service can take various forms, including providing food to the needy, caring for the sick, and participating in community projects that address social and environmental issues. 11.6 Mindful Daily Living. Buddhism emphasizes the cultivation of mindfulness in daily life. Practitioners are encouraged to bring awareness and mindfulness to every aspect of their daily activities, whether it is eating, walking, working, or interacting with others. Mindful daily living involves being fully present in each moment, observing the body, feelings, mind, and phenomena with clarity and equanimity. It requires cultivating a non-judgmental attitude, letting go of distractions, and bringing attention to the present moment experience. By practicing mindfulness in daily life, individuals cultivate a deep sense of presence, authenticity, and appreciation for the simple joys and wonders of existence. Mindful living helps break the cycle of automatic and reactive patterns of behavior, leading to greater clarity, contentment, and inner peace.